Hey, how's it going, YouTubers and Spin Fam? How you doing? Alan back again today, and I have another spinner I'd like to review for you real quick. This is a recent release from SpinNerd, and what they've done is they've taken the Arachnophobia, and they made a couple different versions. They've made a mini, and they've made a nano. This one here is the mini version. Just like the full-size Arachnophobia, it does come with an extra bearing and also a bearing removal tool in a nice gift box as well. So this isn't going to be a big difference in reviews. I'll make sure that I leave a link to the other review of the original, and I'll post that up on the screen here. You'll see that at the end of the video. Be sure to check that out. It's pretty much the same, just a little bit different characteristics with the size of the spinner pretty much. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take this sucker down to the tabletop. Let's break it down. Let's look at it real quick. Not a whole lot to tell you that's going to be any different than my last video, but we'll go ahead and do it anyway. So let's head on down there right now. All right, here we go, up close and personal time with the SpinNerd Arachnophobia. This is the mini. It does come in a mini, a nano, which is a tiny one, and of course the full-size Arachnophobia. Comes in the same type of box, the black with the embossed silver foil stamped logo on the top there. Kind of a faux leather looking box. It does have the cutouts for the fingers, which is kind of nice. Go ahead and pop it open. You get a little warning card. It says SpinNerd. It says authentic on the bottom. It's initialed there, and it does have a warning on the back. So it's kind of becoming standard. Kind of looks like the regular box that the original Arachnophobia came in. As you can see, it looks like the cutouts are a little bit big for the spinner itself, so it pretty much just falls out. But it does come with an additional bearing. I just swapped the bearing for the one that was in here. It does come with a 1-drop. I took the 1-drop out of it and put it in here because I like the feedback a little bit more, and it does come with a bearing removal tool that's kind of tucked in the inside of it there. But everything else about this spinner is just like its predecessor, the original. It is a great spin, a great fidget. This one probably a little bit more fidgetable than the original, just because of its size. Just makes it a little bit easier. Your fingers don't have to reach as far. So flicking and pulling on this thing is absolute dreamy. Beautiful finish. You can see it. This one is the mirror finished. Does have the standard caps on it. Apparently the nano version, the caps are a little bit smaller. But on the mini and the full-size Arachnophobia, it is the same size caps, same type of caps as well. I'll show you my full size here, and you can see the difference between the two. It is, noticeably smaller for sure, and it, obviously a little bit lighter. But the spin, the performance, and everything else about this spinner is just the same as the first one is. Very, very nicely done. Beautiful finish. No hot spots. Nice and smooth. Beautiful caps. Very, very comfortable. So this makes a great all-day fidget for sure. This is definitely one I do carry my original around with me quite a bit. So this one here will probably get a little bit more showtime, just because of the fact that it is a little bit smaller, a little more fidgetable. Now I was going to spin it on the tabletop here so you can get a little look at the size difference. It is about just a touch over 2 inches, maybe a 2 1/8 inches spin diameter on this one. Very, very nice. It, like I said, a little more fidgetable just because of its size. Of course, I'm trying to fill in a little bit of time on this video because there's really not a whole lot to be said about it that I haven't already said in the first video. Great for customizing as well. Doing the flame treatment like I did on this one here came out absolutely just awesome, just beautifully done. I love how that came out. I'm very, very happy with it. Let's go ahead and pop the buttons off real quick. And like on the original Arachnophobia, these buttons are hollowed out. They're stainless steel buttons, but they are hollowed out on the back. I'll let you take a peek at that. Actually, no, these ones are not. Oh, nifty. So you don't have the hollowed out area that covers that center body. But now that I look at it, this is kind of nice. Find out right in the middle of the review. On the original Arachnophobia, let's go ahead and might as well pop that out just so I can show you the difference, because that is a difference that I just now noticed. I hadn't really looked at the buttons when I pulled them off before. I just assumed they were the same. You see these ones here are hollowed out, whereas those are not. But you also see that this center part of the body is raised on this one. So that hollowed out area does cover that. I'm sure it would probably look kind of funky with these buttons on it. Although they would work. They're not as tall. Check the height. Oops. Let's check the height. Yeah. Okay, you can definitely see a difference there. On the Mini, they are thinner. So basically what they've done is they've just basically filled it in and gotten rid of the overhang and made them so that they fit flush. So yeah, that's pretty nice. I'm good with that. Seeing as that center part's not raised, it's not gonna change the way the thing looks at all from one to the other. Just a small, tiny design difference. It is a great spinner. It is wonderful to spin. Just as smooth as the original. One thing I'm going to do, this is the bearing that came with this, which is the extra one. It looks like it's maybe a hybrid ceramic or whatever. It's got stainless steel kind of a cage in the inside of it. So you get a little bit more noise. You probably noticed it when I spun it on the table. It does have a little bit of noise to it. So probably one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to replace it with an SBV2 FZ Essentials bearing, just because I love how those things are smooth, quiet, and of course you don't really sacrifice any spin time with it. So I will probably be making that change here shortly after I get finished with this review. But it's still a nice bearing. It gets a really decent spin time. As you see up in the corner, I ran a spin time video on this one as well, like I do with all my other spinners. So get an idea what this thing does as far as spin time goes. And that spin time was done with the bearing that I currently have in here right now. I didn't do it with the one-drop bearing because spin times really suffer with that bearing. Although it is just buttery, silky smooth, you don't get the spin times that a lot of people are looking for. So I went ahead and did the bearing change and did the bearing that's going to be a little bit more friendly for spin times. Let's just put it that way. So yeah, it is absolutely amazing. It's a great spinner. Now what I think I'll do, I'm going to go ahead and pull the take out. Let me drop this down. I got the TV on over here to actually help cast some light on the subject. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to cover that up first of all. Let's put this one on here. So I'm going to give you a difference between the two spinners and give you the weight difference. This one is 70.1 grams, which kind of falls right into my my sweet spot actually. And the original Arachnophobia is, I can't even remember to be honest with you. Yeah, it's not that much more. It's closer to 74.5 grams. So not a ton of difference in weight, but just the this thing being as large as it is a little bit a little less fidgetable than the new Mini. So I do between the two, I do prefer the Mini. Absolutely, it is a great spinner. They're very, very popular. They sell out pretty quick. I have not tried the Nano yet. That might be one that I try here pretty soon in the near future. But actually this one here is kind of like the perfect size for me. As you see, it's very well balanced, as are all the Arachnophobia spinners. They do such a good job on these things. And that's why they ask what they ask for them. Let's check out the balance on it. This one's actually a little bit not horrible. Try this one. Good there. One more time. Good there as well. So yeah, it is very nice. It definitely one you might want to think about picking up. If you like the original Arachnophobia, I think you're going to like this one a lot more just because of its size, and everything else about it is pretty much the same. Performance and pretty much the way it feels is pretty much the same. Like I said, the bearing, or not the bearing, but the caps, that's going to be a little bit of your weight, where it'll make up a little bit of weight that the original didn't have, is that extra cutout in the back of those original buttons. Whereas these are solid, so that makes a little bit of weight difference. That's why it brought them a little bit closer together in weight, but it's not even noticeable as you look at the two together. You really can't even tell. They look almost identical as far as, you know, that center body part is raised on this one, and it is not raised on this one. So having those buttons on the first one, it just makes sense. So, but yeah, this is absolutely, it's an amazing spinner. Definitely recommend picking this one up for sure. So what I think we'll do now is let's go ahead and take it outside real quick. And like I do in all my videos, I always throw a quick warp segment in there for you, let you check that out, and come back and I'll throw my final thoughts and assessments at you. So let's go ahead on outside right now. Let's get a quick warp, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said before, there wasn't really a whole lot to tell you. Pretty much the exact same spinner, a little bit better fidgetability based on its size, which is a good thing. So I guess that is kind of a step up. If you like a smaller spinner, or maybe that original Arachnophobia was a bit too big for you, this is a nice option for sure. It goes for about 65 bucks out on SpinNerd.com. And what I will do, I will leave a link down below where you can go out there and check it out. Maybe pick yourself up one. Beautiful spinner. Absolutely love it. Also, I will leave a link to Spin Space as well as the Daily Fidget. Come out there and check us out. A lot of fun going on out there. We always have a good time. A lot of the spinner community likes to hang out there, and a lot of good fun, a lot of good information out there. So once again, I do want to thank you for hanging out with me today. Do me a favor, hit that subscription button up there. Come back, check out some of my other videos. I'll leave a couple of them right here. One of them to the original Arachnophobia. Make sure you check that out, and also do me one big favor. Keep calm, spin on, out.